Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another training day here in the Design Your Dream group. I'm excited about this one. And I know that a lot of you are going to benefit from this training beyond any other training that I've done before in this group. Because every single business owner, no matter the stage you are in, needs to understand how to create leads and then send those leads to a place where you're nurturing them and continuing to keep them fresh and warm them up as they continue to consider the option of working with you or buying from you. So today we're going to be talking about how to find leads and nurture them, and get your notes out, okay? I'm gonna really go deep into some exact strategies that you can take. I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons of different strategies that are out there. So it's really gonna be a lot of good takeaways, a lot of action items with this one, and just some really valuable information around why it's important to nurture your leads and not just send them on their way if and when they say no. So welcome. Just the laundry. How do we say that? I'm taking care of some tasks here at the beginning. I don't remember where my brain went with laundry, but hi, I'm Erica Gregory. I am a business coach and consultant. I have over a decade of experience in marketing, and I am really excited about helping female entrepreneurs build and scale their businesses. So if you are here and watching live, please make sure you use the comment box and say hello. If you have questions, please put them in there. I'm here not to just talk at you, but to talk with you and answer any questions you might have. The same goes for you if you are watching on replay. Let me know that you're watching replay. If any questions come up during the training, pop them in the comment box, tag me, just add Erica Gregory, and I'll come back and answer them the best I can. And of course, the offer stands. If you are not wanting to do this in a public forum and you want to have more of a private conversation, please feel free to DM me at any point or just shoot me an email. So I am excited to dive in. So let's talk about the basic formula of a successful business, okay? So number one, and one of the most important things that is often overlooked, is having a valuable product. So something that you can sell. And this can be either a product, like an actual physical product, or it can be some kind of service that you offer. It doesn't have to be something tangible. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. So that, creating something that people want, obviously, that is step one. And we can absolutely do a training around how to create an irresistible product or an irresistible offer. There's also, really a lot of work around your messaging and making sure that your messaging is telling the right story, talking to the right people, and solving the right problem for those people, okay? But then you have this irresistible offer, right? And what I like to say is, if you don't go out and knock on doors about this offer, or you're not proactive about telling people about this offer and getting visible, right? You've heard this word before, getting visible, then no one's going to know that you exist, okay? This is a very typical thing that people do. They're like, I have this thing, and what they're selling is actually really good and quality and helpful and solves a problem and all those things, but they're not willing to do the legwork to get visible, okay? So that is this part of how to get leads, okay? Gaining visibility, whether it be in person, in your region, physical address, or online, you need to be able to gain visibility, okay? The next step is having people to buy from you, okay? So now you have visibility, but you have the traffic. Are people seeing you and then moving toward your world, for lack of a better word? Are they coming closer to you? Are they doing something because they see an ad, or they see a billboard, or they see a business card, or they see your physical product? Are you then having them do something, take action that will keep those leads in your world? Okay. And then the final step of this process is the nurture step. Okay. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about building a business and networking with the people that are in your world currently. Okay, this is how I was able to scale my business so quickly when I first quit my job, because I literally reached out to everybody and their brother that I had ever met in my entire life. I went to networking events. I told everybody I came that came in contact with me at that time about what I was doing, and it turned into business for me. Now, that is a very reliable way to go and start making money today. It is a very reliable way to get sales. But what happens over time is that you will need to continue to fill that lead, let's call it a lead tunnel, so that more people are coming through over time and continue to buy from you. Okay? This is what we call lead generation. So we want to continue to generate leads. We want to continue to build the group of people that are going through that tunnel and working their way toward buying from us. Okay? Lead gen. That's what that means, is you've done the work to gain the visibility, but what are they doing next? And how are you continuing to grow that? And then what happens is you have to keep them in that tunnel, okay? Because there are other tunnels these people can take, okay? Once they're in there, that's great. You've gotten them in there. But why are they staying in your tunnel and not taking the quick exit off the ramp, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So you have heard these terms before, but just a quick refresh and a little bit of, business 101 for you there to start. Okay, so I think what I want to start with here is the lead gen part of things, because this is something so many people have so many problems with. They're like, who am I selling to? And why are they not like knocking at my door? Okay. I think we live in this world where we see Instagram gurus posting links on their stories, and they are getting business that way. And so us, who with less visibility, fewer followers, are doing that same thing, posting to our stories. Maybe 15 people see that story, and we're wondering, why aren't people not buying? Because I'm going to tell you right now that Instagram primarily at this point in time is not a great lead gen, okay? It is really hard to get visible. It is very hard to, as a solopreneur, to continue to crank out content in a fashion that the algorithm likes and will show to people. I just feel like, in my experience, Instagram is not where you should be spending your energy at this point in business. The reason why these gurus with massive followings are able to get people to buy from it is because they probably have a team of people creating content for them. They built their audience long before the algorithm started changing things, and they're probably they probably have a team, okay? And they're just really focused on creating content that converts. If you don't have the energy to post to social media, primarily Instagram at this point, it's not going to kill your business. Yay. All right. So that's what I'm here to say. However, there are other social media platforms that can be really great for lead gen. And I don't want to put this blanket statement across Instagram and say, don't do it. But I know a lot of people come into my world and they're like, Instagram is just, I spend so much time there and I'm not seeing return. So I want to give you some other valuable places to show up and spend your time so that you gain the traction and get a little more lead gen instead of over on Instagram. Okay. This is not me shitting on Instagram. It's just me saying, like, let's put a pin in Instagram for a second and see what else is out there. Okay. We have like other social media, like Facebook. Facebook is a great lead gen. There are so many Facebook groups out there that are full of your ideal client. The idea here is let's use these groups and become active in them. When I tell people this as a strategy, the very first thing that they like to tell me is like, I can't do that. They have rules against promotion and blah, 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 blah. Well, number one, there are groups out there that are meant for promotion. Find them. It's as simple as looking in the search bar on your Facebook group. If you are a coach if you're a business coach like me, look for groups around female entrepreneurs, things like that. And, if they don't allow promotion, there are ways around this, right? Comment, add value, put your posts out there, share your wins, that type of thing in these groups, just gaining visibility. They're like the idea here is that you're essentially using another person's audience to get visible and really add value. I mean, you can do this on Instagram too, but it's just more of a community feel in these Facebook groups, okay? That's a really great strategy. The other strategy, TikTok's growth right now, you could grow exponentially faster on TikTok than you would on Instagram, creating value. And the best part about TikTok, I think, is that you are not spending as much time creating content that is like polished. It's definitely favors like the unpolished, unedited kind of girl next door, boy next door, man next door, whatever we're calling it, type of feel, like people who are vlogging and just like getting on there and being themselves. And you can really, especially if you niche down on TikTok, talking about certain types of like parenting or, business or things like that, you can really grow quickly over there. The other type of ways we can start to get visible is creating YouTube videos, or you can go live on YouTube. You don't have to ever touch Facebook or Instagram or TikTok if you don't want to. Go over on YouTube and create really great content as video. Make sure that your descriptions are keyword rich, because YouTube is a search engine. And that way, when people are looking for the best jewelry maker, how to create a jewelry making business, or whatever you're selling, you show up because your keywords and your title and your thumbnail and all of those things are full of keywords, but you can really gain some traction over there. And the best part is you can use different types of video. They have their shorts element, which is kind of fun, like little reel, shorter video clips. You can do, more edited, professional, polished video and then post that to your channel. And you can also go live over there. So there's a lot of different ways to use video over on YouTube. Other ways to gain visibility, Pinterest. Pinterest is another search engine, and instead of it being like a text search engine, it is a visual search engine. So if you've ever used Pinterest for, wedding planning or redecorating your house or something like that, it's because you repin or you look on Pinterest for a certain thing. A bunch of those types of photos show up, and you scroll through and you see the photos that are most visually appealing or the ones that are really helpful to you. You click on it and it brings it to somebody's website or their content, right? So then now you're on their page. So the funnel here is you're creating really great blog posts, or maybe you have video, whatever it is, or you have a freebie opt-in, and you're creating pins, really great visual pins over on Pinterest. You're creating, you're adding the keywords element and all of those things, and you're consistently pinning on Pinterest. And then you're bringing bringing people back to your website where now they're digesting a long form blog post, or they're digesting some video content, or they're ready to opt into a freebie. Now they're on your email list. So the whole point of all of these strategies, okay, is to get them to the next step. So if you're like, okay, this sounds great, I think I'm gonna go over to YouTube and start a YouTube channel. Here's what I want you to think about. Being on YouTube and creating content there and even getting a subscriber base over there is great. But what's next for them? Where do you want them to go from there? My suggestion is to have some kind of link to an opt-in where now they're on your email list, okay? If you're interested in growing your Instagram or your TikTok channel, have people in your bio or link to in your stories, in opt-in, or, some kind of group. Maybe you link to your own Facebook group like I have, where you're doing live free trainings every week or every month. Or maybe you have a newsletter where you're sending out added value every week. The idea here is that you're not just trying to find people and sell to them through these channels, but you're trying to get them into your world so that you can continue to nurture them, okay? The nurture part, I'm gonna dive into in a little bit, but this is the lead gen part, okay? So we're not just creating content to create content. We're creating content so that now people are interested or intrigued at what we've said or what we've done on these different platforms, and they want to know more. They want to learn more. What's next? Are they opting into your email list? Are they joining a Facebook group? Maybe they're doing both, right? What can you do to nurture these people? Where can they go where they're going to continue to show up and be, wanting to learn more, or you can continue to add value to their lives, to their business, to their whatever you're selling, okay? So this isn't, I really, really want to drive this home. This is not I'm going to create content for creating content's sake. I'm going to create content because I want to gain followers so that I can sell on Instagram. That's fine, but it's not going to have as much of a conversion rate as if you brought them down a nurture sequence that would really, really make them feel like this is where I want to be. Okay? So, there are endless ways to gain visibility. If you want to try paid advertising, both on social media or on Google AdWords, definitely try it. There's tons of trainings out there. Make sure that you're spending not an absorbent amount of money. If this is your first time, give yourself a budget. You can do it in the right way that will gain traffic into your world, okay? Get visible and then gain traffic. Do not, I repeat, do not boost a post for engagement, okay? This is not going to give you any long-term results, okay? Having a post that has 100 likes on it or 200 likes on it is not going to convert into long-term business, but having paid ads that maybe funnel people into a pre-recorded trainings where they opt into the training, and now based on their opt-in, you have an email. So now they're on your email list and you can set up a nurture sequence from there, or you can continue with a newsletter from there and sell through your email list, okay? So we're not just trying to get more likes, more followers. What we're trying to do is get more leads. This is a totally different strategy. These are two completely different things that I need you to start thinking through as different things, okay? Because I think what happens is when we become entrepreneurs and we have a business, we think we need to do it all. The reality is we don't have to do it all if we're doing something right. And the right way to do this is to use these platforms that have been given to us for free to draw people into our world, to continue to gain leads, and then make them do something, take action so that we can nurture them, continue to add value. And so when it's time for them to purchase, we're the ones they're purchasing from. Okay. Another lead gen tool that I just thought of is LinkedIn. based on, certain types of businesses that you have, there are tons of leads over on LinkedIn. But the same thing goes for that. If you are showing up on LinkedIn and you're adding value and you're creating content and you're engaging and you're getting people to follow you and join your network and whatnot, what is the next step? What is the next step from that? Okay, maybe you want them to book a call with you so you can do a discovery call. Great. While they book that call, make sure you are collecting email addresses, because if they book the call and they, and they're like, great, wonderful, but I'm just not ready to buy right now. What are you doing? Where are you keeping those people in your world so when they are ready to buy, that you're the one that they buy from? Okay. So all of this is just all about gaining traffic, getting visible, and continuing to funnel more people through that lead gen tunnel. Okay, we want more and more people. We never want that tunnel to be empty. We want people just coming through all the time. So that's another component of this. And that is why I'm going to start steering you away from creating content for content's sake, because it is such a time suck to create all of these funny reels and like all of this content and things like that and not have it lead to more lead generation. Okay, we need to have a strategy that actually works. We need to have a strategy that actually fills that tunnel. So being very strategic about this. Now, let me take a sip. These are just several, okay? You could have, I was literally just going to talk about podcasts. Podcasts are another lead gen tool, okay? So creating podcasts is a great way to network with people and to put out content. Now, there's this I think this thought about having a podcast where it's about content creation, okay? So we're creating content for people to consume. They enjoy the podcast. So now you have in your show notes, join my Facebook group or join my newsletter, right? So that's one funnel. However, what I will say is that podcasting and guesting on podcasts is a strategy in itself to gain leads, okay? So if you have a podcast, great. Invite people to be on your podcast. Go join the podcasting groups where people are looking to be guests and invite people in. You never know, those guests could be your ideal client or they could know your ideal client, right? So having that relationship now where you're like, hey, you've guested on my podcast or I've guested on your podcast, that is such it's a deeper relationship. So now you have somebody else in your network, you have somebody else on your email list, you have somebody else you can refer to and that they can refer to. So don't underestimate the power of podcast guesting. So go put yourself out there and say, I want to be on your podcast. I want to be on other people's podcasts. I want to be really great, sell my stuff, talk about how I can help people. That is leveraging other people's audiences, and it is a brilliant way to do things. When you are guesting on their podcast, ensure that you have some way that they can follow up with you. Not just the people in the audience listening, but the host. There is this person now in your network. Their audience has now heard you. They love you. What are you giving them for free other than your added value on the podcast that now they can come into your world and you can continue to nurture them? Do you have a Facebook group? What's the next step? Do you have an email list? If you have an email list, are you sending emails out on your email list, right? Okay, great. You're collecting all of these emails, but what are you doing? How are you nurturing your email list, okay? It's completely up to you to leverage these relationships, these opportunities to continue to gain leads. This is just, I really want to drive this home, is that creating content just to say, I have a podcast, come listen to my podcast. That is one avenue you can take. Another avenue you can take is guesting on podcasts inviting that host, come back and be on my podcast, right? Being collaborative in that way, but leveraging other people's audiences so that you get in front of other people and then bringing them into the next step, okay? Because creating content on a podcast is like it's essentially like creating another offer, right? So if you're creating a podcast and you have great content on it, but you're not marketing or getting visible or gaining traffic to that podcast, then you might as well not even have the product. You need to be able to market it, get in front of people, leverage it, network. Podcasting is so hot right now. Everybody wants podcasts, right? So everybody needs guests. So get your pitch, figure out how you're going to be on their podcast, and then have them come back on yours. And then it's the promotion time. What are you doing with that podcast? Are you just having it sit in your feed and hope people find you? Or are you putting it out on TikTok and creating little snippets? Are you putting it on YouTube? Are you sharing it to your Facebook page? Are you sharing it to Instagram? What are you doing with the content now that you've created it? Okay. All right. So let's pivot a little bit into the nurture part of this, okay? So I've talked about lead gen and how to continue to grow and fill that tunnel of people. How now do you keep these people in your world, okay? And this is where the serve and add value and give comes in, okay? So once upon a time, I was on a podcast with a business guru coach, and the advice I was given at that point, so back up. So a year prior to being on this podcast, I was doing free trainings every single Wednesday in a group similar to this. And I was killing it. And it was driving so much traffic. After every single training, I would have 50 to 100 people on my trainings at that time. And this was all from, I was in a group of people, and I just started saying like, hey, I have knowledge on X, come and I'll train you on it. And it was a very organic way to grow this. And I really enjoyed it. So I was doing these free trainings every Wednesday, and it was really great. And after every training, I would have people DM me and say, hey, how can I work with you? Or can I hop on a call with you? And it was wonderful. Okay. So fast forward, I'm on a guest on this podcast, and this coach decided to give me some free coaching. And they told me that essentially you're giving away too much. You're just doing too much free stuff. Right. And so me thinking this person knew more because she made more money or she had a bigger following, stop doing that. Close the group. And it wasn't until a few months later when I started realizing my lead gen was really slowing down that I realized actually that was really working for me. And so there's two lessons here. Number one, you can never add enough value to people for them to say, I don't want to work with you. Number two, just because somebody has a bigger following than you and makes more money than you, they don't always know the answer. And lastly, I'll throw this one in for just shits and giggles. If somebody says, that's just not working right now, but it's working for you, ignore that advice. Okay? So if Instagram is getting you and generating hundreds of thousands of dollars for you, even just thousands of dollars for you, ignore my advice. Okay? That's just my perspective. It's the reality that I've seen in my business, and that's just what's happening, is that Instagram just isn't getting me enough leads right now, and it's just not converting, and I'm not making enough money over there for the amount of time that I'm putting in. Just my reality. If you could sit here and say, oh my God, I spend about 20 seconds, create a reel, it goes viral, I make $800 every day just from that, go do it. Okay? Don't stop something that's working. Don't just because, I'm perceived to know more. So anyway, my whole point of this is that the reason why this strategy that I was using of free trainings every Wednesday was because I was giving and I was nurturing this audience of people. Every week, they could expect me to show up on Wednesday and give value and teach them and give them and give them and give them. And they were able to ask questions. And so this is my next iteration of it. This group, these trainings, this is the next iteration of this, because not only does it really help my business, but it's just fun to like connect with you and see a community come to life, okay, over these live trainings on Facebook. So, go invite your friends. Tell people that this exists. I'm going to be here every Wednesday for as long as I can to just give and add value and give you these free trainings, okay? So my point though is that I'm nurturing my audience here. I'm showing up on live video every week in real color, giving you tips to grow your business. And I'm not charging a dime for it. That is called nurturing. So what are you doing in your business to, once people are in, they're opted into your world, whether they've joined your group or they've followed you or they're on your email list, what are you doing to continue to give them more? These are some of the most important decisions that you make, okay? Because warm leads are the ones that are going to become warmer. And the warm leads are the ones who have opted in and said, yes, I want that freebie. I want that group. I want that training. I want that stuff, whatever. I want to be in her energy. Whatever it is, they are now warm to you. They now know you. They know you exist and they know you have something to offer. The nurture part of this is to knock their socks off, to give them and give them and give them and have them say, oh, she doesn't just have something to offer, she's really good and I want to work with her, or I want to buy that. Okay, so what are you doing? Are you sending out emails? And what in those emails makes people want to keep staying around? Okay, I learned that consistent emails actually really do work. There is this belief out there that people don't want you in their inbox every day. I disagree. I think you should be in their inbox every single day, just blowing them away with your storytelling, with your training, with your offer, with your, whatever, with just something that keeps you top of mind. Of course, people are going to opt out. But guess what? People are also going to opt in, and they're going to keep watching, and they're going to keep learning. They're going to keep seeing what you're doing. And when they are ready, they will buy. Okay? Also, live video in any form is a great way to nurture people because you get to show up and be you. Okay? I'm me. I'm sitting right here in my house. I'm live on camera. Okay, I have bags under my eyes because I couldn't sleep last night, right? Like, you get me, and every misstep I have, every mumble, every grumble I make, every time I have to take a sip of water, I'm real. I'm a real person. This isn't edited. And so you get to know me through this. You get to ask me questions, and I get to answer your questions in real time. There is a reason why every single platform, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they all have a live video component. I'm pretty sure LinkedIn has one. So just across the board, live video is the way to go, okay? It is powerful. It is a great way to nurture your audience, and it's a great way to show up and train and just continue to give. I know people are terrified of video, and they're terrified of showing up, and they're terrified especially of live video. Live video can be incredibly intimidating, but I've only gotten to be this comfortable on live video because I've done it consistently for the last 3 years. Okay, the first time I went live, I was not this calm. I was you know, pacing back and forth for like an hour beforehand. I literally was doing work up until I pressed go live, not even thinking about it. This is just now part of my routine because I've been doing it for so long. There was once upon a time where I sucked at it. One of the first times I went live, the audio wasn't working. I've told this story. The audio wasn't working and I was getting pings and stuff and my Apple Watch was going off and people were trying to get in touch with me and say, "Erica, I cannot hear you." And I just kept talking until I finally was like, "What is going on?" And 20 minutes later, I was like, "Oh, I didn't have my audio on." So people mess up. It's part of it. It makes you human. You're fine. You're going to recover and you'll live another day. But live video is a really, really, really great way to nurture people. Another thing that you probably hear a lot, and this goes back to email, is the nurture sequence. Okay, you hear this, but like, what is it? A nurture sequence is some kind of offer. So if somebody has just joined through an opt-in, what you want to do is create a nurture sequence of, 3 to 5 emails that go into these people's inboxes for the next 3 to 5 days, depending on how long your sequence is. And it gives people a discount, a time, like join before X amount of time, you can sign this, or you can save this amount of money, or here's your free whatever, but it's expiring at X day, or book a call, a free hour-long call with me and we can chat, but this expire, some kind of way so that people who are really interested because they've just joined your email list and they've seen something that you have is of value, to make them act quickly. Okay? Now, if they don't act, okay, fine. They're still on your email list and there's still a way to continue to add value to them. But there is something really cool about getting somebody to opt in and immediately continue to want something more from you. It's really fun. And it's just another way to nurture people. Okay. So, any questions, let me know. Really want you to focus this year on creating more leads. And if you're feeling like you're spending a lot of time on a platform, or you're spending a lot of time doing something or building something, and you're not seeing people join your world, or you're not seeing them continue to be a part of what you're doing, then you really need to take a step back and think about, how am I gaining visibility? Or how am I gaining traffic? Am I being visible? And what am I having them do once they see me? Okay, what is the next step? Is it book a call? Is it join a Facebook group? Is it join my email list? Whatever it is, there needs to be something, okay? Then, once now they've opted in, they've booked that call, they've joined your email list, they're in your Facebook group, what are you giving them to keep them in your world? These are the things that you need to pay attention to. If you need help with any of these things, or just to, bounce some ideas off of, if you have some of these things and you're not seeing results from them, please book a call with me. Free strategy session, 45 minutes. I get to look at your business and see what you're doing and tell you, hey, this is why, or that's why, okay? You can find the call link right on my website, ericagregory.com. No strings attached. This is completely just a strategy session so you and I can connect over these types of things. If you do not have a lead gen and you are not nurturing those leads, you will not have a consistent, sustainable business. These things are not only important, they are the most important thing to have a viable business and something that continues to grow. All right, if there are no questions, I'm going to sign off. I'll see you again next week. So keep your eyes peeled for the invite. And in the meantime, make sure you book your strategy session with me, and I'll talk to you soon.